everyone, I am back with a new project. Headed to get a small block Chevy 327 that went to a Chris Craft, and I have wanted one of these boats for so long, and Dad found one. It's not a Chris Craft though. It was a custom mahogany boat, and just was completely stripped. All it was just the shell, the shaft, and some running gear, but there was no engine or transmission in it. So, but I found something that I believe will work, and I guess the biggest logistical challenge now is trying to figure out how to get the boat from Texas to Washington State. But anyway, I haven't really posted anything in a while because I've been going through a lot of changes lately in life. That I recently retired from the Coast Guard after 21 years this past May. And unfortunately, I kind of struggled to find a job afterwards, and I thought I had something promising lined up, and then that didn't work out. But now I got something going on. It's going pretty well with the Washington State Ferry. That's been pretty good, actually. So I got a little bit more time to get to a mate's license. So looking forward to getting all that accomplished within the next coming months. But anyway, other than that, we're going to see what this engine looks like. So I'll see you when... All right, so we're back from getting the engine. This thing's pretty unique, and I got a good score on this thing. I got two 327 Chevrolet blocks. That's awesome. I don't really know the state of them. Do know that one's locked up and the other one spins freely, but I don't know what it looks like underneath. But let's check these out. So this is the spare block he had. This one's supposedly locked up. He doesn't know what's going down underneath it. But looks like it is well used. Now this was the boat block. So we're gonna get up here and take a look at this thing. This thing is really, really unique, and I've never seen anything like it before. So this is the front of the engine. This is the back of the engine. And the front of the engine, you can tell, obviously has a velvet drive on it. And the back of the engine has everything else, but it sits this way. It also has this really thick aluminum oil pan. That thing's really thick. So I'm gonna get this stuff unloaded, take a look at it initially, and see what we can find. All right, so I got those engines unloaded. That one on the stand, and this one on the table, which I think it's maybe straining a little bit under the weight, but I think it'll be all right for now. Might beef it up later, the table that is. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure, but I think at first glance, maybe this thing was pulled. Again, we don't know why the engine came out. I just bought the engine. So at first glance, this does not engage with anything. So I don't know if that's the reason why it was pulled. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but what I'd like to do is get into this one and see if this thing is even worth having around, or I just need to take it to the scrapyard now. So I'm gonna flip it over, drop the pan, see what we can find. All right, so first glance, nothing crazy with the exception of the water and the sludge in this thing. I wonder how many miles are on it. Good God. Obviously nothing looks blown up, but it's probably just rusted shut, and that's why it doesn't turn over. But we're gonna get these pistons and rods out and go from there. You want to see what the bottom of the oil pan look like. That's a lot of trash. This thing probably had a gazillion miles on it. So, all right, well, let's just keep on going. Ah. All right, so we found major issue with this thing. That is not supposed to do that, so it's probably jumping time. That sprocket is bad. All sorts of nastiness on this thing, good God. I can almost get it off without having to take any of the sprockets off. You're not supposed to do that. Yeah, so that's probably the reason why this thing got pulled, more than likely. Hi, Raven. How you doing, sweet girl? Alright, well, that's junk. Now let's keep tearing this thing down and see. Maybe this block's good. Hi, sweet girl. Say hi to YouTube. Hi, Raven. Yeah, I don't want to smell your breath. Thank you. Fortunately, I think I got everything out that I could. This piston here is probably the most seized up one. It's probably just because this thing sat outside for so long after being pulled that there's really nothing left to do with it. So I'm just gonna kind of clear these things out as best I can. Put some, see if we can put some diesel down here and see if it'll free it up. Get this stuff cleaned out. This would have to be bored out anyway. So, all right, so I'm gonna continue on with this, and I'm just gonna take the cams out, or the cam out, and get this timing chain off, and get the rest of this thing broken down, and see if this, I think this block is still savable. I don't see any cracks in it, and like, at least not right off anyway. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to film with this, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get all the rest of this apart, or at least soak it down in diesel, and see if I can get the rest of this off. Now, as far as this goes, I'm gonna have to really take a look at this thing and see what I need to do. I guess this would be the flywheel pulley. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like this before. This is awesome. And it came with a heat exchanger and everything. So really the next thing I need to do is get all the oil out of this thing, because this thing is leaking everywhere. And after that, after I get that thing out of the way, I'll start tearing into this thing and see what I can find. I do know it's free. The cylinders, the pistons will move, so that's good. This is the water pump for the engine itself. So cool. All right, so I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back with you. All right, so got these things soaking in some diesel for a while. I'll probably just leave that there for as long as I can. I'm gonna move over to the other engine, and this thing is very unique. I've never seen anything like this. It's basically the engine, rear-facing engine direct drive. It's odd, very odd. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the accessories off, like the heat exchanger, the alternator, the flywheel, the pulley, this bracket. You know, it says flagship. I'm gonna have to do some research on that if I can find anything. I think the way this is that this whole pan and this bell housing are all one piece. Like they all share the, there's no drain plug on the back, so they all share, like, you know, one passageway for the oil. I think, I don't know until I get into it. But for the meantime, I'm gonna get all these hoses off, the heat exchanger, all the accessories off, and yeah, we'll see what we got. All right, so got the velvet drive off. You can see where this became a disaster, and obviously I pulled it off and all this oil came out. because this bell housing shares the oil pan. And yeah, and there's a couple, I don't know if you can see them. I'm gonna do my best to get this light in here that's on my head, but there's bolts right there that actually hold this thing on, so this thing had to come off before I can get anything else off. So I don't know, maybe the velvet drive's not bad, maybe something else is busted. Timing chain, everything else, nothing looks like carnage in here for sure. So who knows. I'm gonna take a break for a bit and come back and get the rest of this stuff taken off, so stay with us. All right, now it's a few days later. I had, of course, work and stuff to do, but I gave me some time to do some research on these engines, and I'll show you what is going on. So this block, actually by the casting numbers here, this 3789935, this is actually a 283, whereas this block, sorry about my crappy lighting, my lights don't work all the time, this is actually a 327. So what the plan is now, take all the accessories off of this one and build an engine for the boat with this block. Going to have to make sure this block is good, so we're gonna have to get the rest of these pistons out, make sure nothing's cracked, and we can actually save this bore. This is the one I'm kind of concerned about the most because it's got a lot of rust. I don't know if that diesel's done anything, but I'm gonna try to see by just getting them out. Anyway, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I am back to do the rest of this engine. I did manage to get this guy off, this like clutch dampener. I don't really know what to call it, but anyway, I got that off with just a regular puller, and I thought that was gonna be a lot harder than it was, and not really, it just came right off. So we're just gonna get the rest of this thing broken down, probably gonna make a mess, there's more oil in there, and see what this rest of this thing looks like. So here we go with this. Well, definitely water in this thing, but that may have just been from sitting. Everything else looks in really great shape, actually. Kind of still don't know why this thing was pulled. You see the extended pickup tube. Looks like some just regular pipe fittings, actually. And a GM oil pump. Cool. All right, so we're gonna get the rest of this apart and see what else we can find. So, got everything broken down here to the bare block. I didn't really see anything majorly wrong with it, and to be quite honest with you, a lot of stuff looks very new, as in this thing probably did not have a whole lot of hours on it. The cam itself is a little rusty, that's just from sitting though, so that's, I guess, to be expected. But anyway, this is not a small block Chevy build video because there are literally tons of them out there, and I'd just be adding to that pile of the abyss of that. So I'm not going to do that. The next step is going to be getting everything to the machine shop, both blocks, the 283 and the 327, and kind of see what my options are. This thing is in a lot better shape than that thing was. And this crank is a little different. I don't know, I'd have to get him to actually tell me what the difference is and what my options are gonna be. So, appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe, please. You'll see the rest of this build. And hopefully whenever I get everything back to the machine shop, I'll start putting it back together, getting more and more parts in, and getting this thing running. I want to make this thing look like a, you know, a piece of art, showroom piece of art, you know. It'd be really cool. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.